I am Iron Man.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top moments from superhero films that were not in the script.
Hey, welcome me.
Number 20, testing the flying web, Spider-Man. With great power comes a lot of growing pains. Soon after getting his spider abilities in this version of Spider-Man, Peter Parker goes up onto a rooftop and tries to get his webbing to come out of his wrist on command.
Go web!
He has a lot of trial and error to get through before he's successful. And during his experimentation, he uses a variety of hand gestures and shouts several catchphrases, some of which reference DC Comics properties.
Up, and away, web! Shazam!
A lot of this sequence is unscripted, with actor Tobey Maguire swinging with his own lines. Thankfully, they land a lot better than Peter himself does. Number 19, nicknames, X-Men. The first theatrical film in this franchise enjoyed poking fun at some of its comic book conventions.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Along with the team's costumes, this includes their famous superhero names. When Professor Charles Xavier introduced Logan, aka Wolverine, to Storm and Cyclops, he scoffs and makes a joke about what the Professor's own nickname could be.
What do they call you? Wheels? This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The line was improvised by Hugh Jackman. And while Wheels can sound a bit ableist, calling a guy with a visual impairment Cyclops isn't a great look either. But Scott Summers seemed fine with it. Number 18. Godzilla Joke, The Amazing Spider-Man.
Mr. Parker, why are you not in school?
Whether it's malicious, alliteratively named newspaper editors, or the police, Spider-Man has a hard time getting people to believe him. Granted, Peter Parker's claims that a scientist has turned into a lizard man and is rampaging through the city are a little incredible.
There may not be a dinosaur running around Manhattan, but there is something more dangerous, and I know who it is.
When told this, NYPD Captain George Stacy responds by asking Peter if he looks like the mayor of Tokyo, referencing famed giant monster Godzilla's frequent attacks on the city. The line was improvised by actor Dennis Leary and helped lighten up an otherwise grounded and serious take on Spidey's origin story.
Let me ask you a question. Do I look like the mayor of Tokyo to you?
Number 17, Colonel Stars and Stripes, Kick-Ass 2. Anytime Jim Carrey stars in anything, there's bound to be some improvisation. The comedic actor appears in Kick-Ass 2 as Colonel Stars and Stripes, a patriotic vigilante. He leads his team of fledgling wannabe superheroes in busting up a sex trafficking ring. During this scene, several of his lines were ad-libbed by Carrey himself. The first of these is his surprisingly wholesome message to the team.
Oh, and try to have fun. Otherwise, what's the point?
The second occurs after the Colonel has his pooch Eisenhower attack one of the criminals. His description of the goon situation is both obvious and hilarious.
Yeah, there's a dog on your balls.
Number 16, oh Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice.
I gotta get it to chase me back to the city.
Upon realizing that the demonic creature unleashed by Lex Luthor is Kryptonian, Batman decides to lure Doomsday back to the port, where the kryptonite spear he planned to use on Superman still resides. Despite his piloting skills, the Dark Knight is unable to evade Doomsday in his personal aircraft for long, eventually getting shot down by energy beams the monster fires. With Doomsday bearing down on him and nowhere left to run, Batman mutters,
Oh,
which Ben Affleck improvised. The reaction is a very relatable one and shows that for all his wealth and power, Batman is still only human. Number 15, Spider-Man's Last Words, Avengers Infinity War.
I don't feel so good.
In the now famous or infamous conclusion of this massive production, Thanos snaps his Infinity Gauntlet-tipped fingers and turns half of the main characters to dust. For many, it happens instantly. But when young Peter Parker dies, it's an absolute gut punch. His heartbreaking final moments have him clinging to Tony Stark, distraught that he doesn't want to go.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir. Please. Please, I don't want to go. I don't want to go.
His emotional final moments brought many fans to tears. And it's especially impressive considering that actor Tom Holland improvised the whole thing, according to director Joe Russo. Thanos may have killed him, but Holland killed this scene. Number 14, How Lovely, The Dark Knight Rises. Tom Hardy is iconic as the imposing, masked madman Bane in Christopher Nolan's third Batman film. The beefy fanatic's plans for Gotham City are explosive. During one of his biggest moves, Bane attacks a football stadium during a crowded game. However, before he collapses the entire field, the villain pauses to listen to a young boy sing the national anthem.
That's a lovely, lovely voice.
Bane's seemingly genuine compliment of the kid's voice was an improvisation by Hardy, according to the film's producer. He may be an extremist, but at least Bane can appreciate a good performance when he hears one.
This is the instrument of your liberation.
Number 13, Liar, Avengers Endgame. Robert Downey Jr. frequently injected his own personal touches into Tony Stark, and it shows, as there seems to be considerable overlap between actor and character. While this is often in comedic scenes, one of the most impactful examples is from his dramatic scene. After Tony's return from space and losing to Thanos, an embittered, broken Iron Man rails against Captain America, despite barely being able to stand.
I said we'd lose. You said, we'll do that together too.
He throws many of Cap's words back at him. According to the director Anthony Russo, Downey improvised Tony's quietly calling Steve a liar. It's a subtle yet powerful choice that really speaks to Tony's deeper issues.
Zero, zip, nada. No trust. Liar.
Number 12, Hey Auntie, Black Panther. Eric Killmonger is among the most memorable Marvel villains, and a lot of credit should be given to Michael B. Jordan's charismatic performance. When Killmonger swaggers into the Wakandan throne room, he commands attention. He delivers an impassioned speech about Wakanda using its advanced technology to help Africans and those of their descent the world over.
Wakanda has the tools to liberate them all.
And what tools are those?
Vibranium.
He then drops a bombshell reveal that he's cousin to the king and wants the throne. Killmonger's iconic, cheeky follow-up line to the Queen Mother was, at least according to this interview with Angela Bassett, entirely Jordan's idea. And it's a phenomenal line too.
Hey, Auntie.
Number 11, A Dance with the Devil, Batman. From Marvel to yet another Batman movie, and this time it's the villain doing the improvising again. Arriving at Vicky Vale's apartment, the Joker and some thugs hold Bruce Wayne and Vicky at gunpoint, leading to a confrontation between Wayne and the Clown Prince of Crime.
I just like the sound of it.
The Joker shoots the billionaire and tells Vicky sarcastically that he's sad on the inside, doing a little dance as he leaves before blowing a raspberry.
You might join me for a week.
Jack Nicholson made up the dance on the spot, which adds even more of the character's manic glee to the scene. Number 10, Drax asks why, Avengers Infinity War. This alien member of the Guardians of the Galaxy ranks as one of the funniest characters in the MCU. And one of his best lines was devised by actor Dave Bautista himself.
Die, blanket of death!
During the tense yet hilarious first meeting between the Guardians and the Avengers, the former are looking for Gamora after she's been kidnapped by Thanos. The only problem is, Tony has no idea what they're talking about. Drax, on the other hand, decides to go for a more esoteric and hysterical question.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
But who will ask how or what is Gamora? Number 9, Beyonce, Doctor Strange.
Steven, Wong.
While studying at Comertage, Stephen Strange meets the librarian Wong, whose single name causes the Doctor to relate him to several famous people with mononyms, like Adele and Aristotle.
Just Wong? Like Adele? Or Aristotle?
In a later scene, he asks for advanced books that Wong says he isn't ready for. Benedict Cumberbatch ad-libbed the line, "Try me, Beyonce," going on to express his disbelief that Wong hasn't heard of her.
You're not ready for that. Try me, Beyonce. Come on. You've heard of her. She's a huge star, right?
This ad-lib clearly influenced additional parts of the film too, as a later scene shows Wong listening to the Beyonce song Single Ladies while Doctor Strange steals books from behind him. Number 8, bunch of jackasses, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, what the hell? I don't got that long a lifespan anyway.
You might think that a computer-generated character like Rocket Raccoon would not be conducive to improv, but you'd be wrong. Before the final battle, Peter Quill tries to convince his friends to take a stand and fight Ronan. And when each affirms their desire to stand with him, they stand up. Rocket is the last to do so, and is just as cranky about it as every other decision, saying,
"Now I'm standing. You all happy? We're all standing up now. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle."
Rocket's on-set stand-in, director James Gunn's brother Sean, made up the line during filming, which led to its inclusion in the final product.
You all happy?
Number 7, Nobody Would Know, Avengers Age of Ultron.
Nobody would know.
The antagonistic relationship between Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, and Pietro Maximoff, or Quicksilver, is a fun through line in Age of Ultron. Quicksilver gets the better of Hawkeye several times due to his speed, though Hawkeye gets some digs into by stopping the cocky speedster from running.
What? You didn't see that coming?
Even after joining forces against Ultron, the pair still manage to take shots at each other, as Quicksilver picks up his sister and runs off at one point, telling Hawkeye, "Keep up, old man." Actor Jeremy Renner improvised Hawkeye's grumbling response.
Nobody. The last I saw him, an Ultron was sitting on him. Yeah, he'll be missed. That quick little bastard. I miss him already.
Number 6, Touching the Pecs, Captain America, the First Avenger.
Mr. Stark!
The transformation of Steve Rogers into a super soldier causes him to grow stronger, faster, and develop tremendous muscles.
How'd you feel?
Agent Peggy Carter takes a physical interest in the latter aspect, going so far as to touch his torso very briefly, which actress Haley Atwell improvised. It's a small character moment, but it goes a long way towards illustrating how miraculous Rogers' transformation is, as well as showing that Agent Carter is more down to earth than her professional demeanor would suggest. And it's funny to boot.
You look taller.
Number 5, The Joker's Clap, The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger as the Joker in this film is one of the most celebrated comic book villain performances ever. Although a lot of his little mannerisms and tics were developed by Ledger himself, one notable improvisation occurs during a scene where the Joker says nothing at all.
Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint.
After the clown-faced criminal is arrested by Jim Gordon, the mayor congratulates the police officer and announces promotion to commissioner. Amid all the clapping, everyone turns to look at the Joker, who joins in with the rest of them. The guy makes even applause seem creepy. Number 4, He's a Friend from Work, Thor Ragnarok.
Yes!
Arguably the most memorable scene in the third Thor film seems the titular god of thunder facing off against the Hulk in an arena. However, far from being worried, Thor is happy to see his fellow Avenger, calling him a friend from work and surprising the crowd.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
The line was improvised, though not by actor Chris Hemsworth. Rather, it was suggested to him by a child who was visiting the set as part of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Reports say that as much as 80% of the dialogue in the film was improvised, but this line stands out for its origin, delivery, and iconic place in the film and trailer. Number 3, Schwarma The Avengers. Robert Downey Jr. is no stranger to improv, as most of his dialogue in the first Iron Man was ad-lib.
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
There's no doubt that this moment was the result of this skill. After his near-death experience saving the city from a nuclear missile he sends through a wormhole, Stark remembers that there's a nearby shawarma restaurant that he wants to try. A line that Robert Downey Jr. threw in after discussing some possible alternate takes with director Joss Whedon.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here.
This led to the infamous after-credit scene where the Avengers eat at a restaurant in silence. Number 2, Weasel insults Deadpool. Deadpool.
Come on, Wade, it can't be that bad.
Becoming a superhero isn't always easy or pain-free, and Wade Wilson definitely gets the short end of the ugly stick when he's given healing abilities that also leave him disfigured. Upon revealing his face to his friend Weasel, the bartender proceeds to come up with a variety of colorful, creative ways to tell him how unpleasant he looks.
You look like an avocado. Had sex with an older, more disgusting avocado. Yeah, haunting. Your face is the stuff of nightmares.
Like a testicle with teeth.
All of these imaginative invectives were invented by T.J. Miller and Ryan Reynolds themselves, with even more of their insults appearing in deleted scenes, outtakes, and trailers.
You look like the inside of other people's assholes.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. I Am Iron Man. Iron Man. Since most of the script wasn't finished before shooting, the actors had no choice but to improv a lot throughout this movie. However, the ending tops all the others. During his press conference, Tony Stark is instructed to deny that he's Iron Man.
That's what happened.
All right.
Just read it word for word.
He's told to give credit to a supposed bodyguard in his suit instead. However, Robert Downey Jr. decided to improvise a change of plan. In the scene, Tony instead reveals his identity.
I am Iron Man.
Not only is the line one of the character's most famous now, but it also marked a shift in how superhero secret identities were portrayed on screen and set the stage for more departures from the source material in the MCU.
And I am Iron Man.
Is there an off-the-cup superhero scene you can't believe we forgot? Remind us down in the comments below.
My reflexes are too fast.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.